I run a private practice called In Vivo, under which we do individual and group therapy sessions, as well as conduct training programs for people in the mental health fields, including psychologists and psychiatrists. What we're doing now is that we're doing a series of videos on different concepts, different thoughts, different ideas, issues that are a part of our human life. And the purpose behind it, in my mind, is for me to express my perspective on these ideas and these issues, and the perspective of the therapy that I follow, which is rational emotive behavior therapy, such that this expression then further leads to triggering thoughts in other people's minds on these issues, and then starts some kind of a discussion that takes us further toward understanding these ideas or these concepts. Hi, I'm Swati Khanolkar, and I'm going to talk about the freedom of making choices. I think if there's one thing that we human beings are very scared of, it is this freedom of making choices. We absolutely dread it. We dread it because of the extent of this freedom, its potentialities, its possibilities, and yet we can't escape it. We really can't. In every moment that we live, we have to make a choice. And therefore, in my opinion, the most valuable kind of skill to learn would be this skill of making choices that are one's own, original choices. And yet, we see people reaching newer heights of efficiently trying to avoid making these choices. And to my mind, as long as we keep putting off making these choices, it's like we're putting off living life. And if we think about why do people want to avoid making these choices, it seems that it is because of the anxiety coming from what if I make the wrong choice, what if I make mistakes in making choices and then have to suffer the consequences of those mistakes. So then if there could be a way that could be taught of effectively dealing with this anxiety, we would learn to make choices based on what we want to move toward and not based on what we want to move away from or what we want to escape. Rational emotive behavior therapy, or REBT, is one such approach that emphatically reminds us that in situations we do have choices of response, and these responses need not be determined by external situational factors always. And more importantly, REBT equips us with the skill to make these self-helping, effective choices while dealing with the anxiety that we face in the process of making these choices. And this process of exercising this freedom of making choices is certainly difficult. Personally, too, I have struggled with this process. And yet, I would not ever trade this freedom of making choices with anything else, because ultimately that is what makes me human more than anything else.